Okay, this is Amethyst Treleaven here with another psychic Celtic Ogham reading, and this one is reading number 821 for my client with the initials BC. BC, thank you for asking me to read for you again. From your email, it sounds as though the last few months in particular have been pretty crappy for you. So let's see what we come up with in the Oghams here. When I read through your email, it was interesting that you didn't actually ask me a question necessarily per se to focus on, but rather you talked about what had been happening for you in the last month. And I guess I'll just have another look at your email. And what you were saying then is, I guess, where do you want to be living, North Carolina or Texas, and some guidance. So we'll kind of see what we come up with for you. Let's start off with this Ogham stave here. This themes your whole reading, and this is oak or dewar. Now, this has good and bad in it, but primarily this is a really helpful Ogham stave and Ogham view to have here. Oak is very much about hard work, and it kind of themes the whole of the last year and the year ahead. And when I say hard work, I'm not necessarily talking about work in terms of a job, but work in terms of life in general. Life is hard work. Life is not easy. Life is a bit of a struggle, and it will continue to be so, I'm afraid, for a wee while yet. And I want to pick up on that as we go through this reading. The other thing that I really wanted to emphasise with oak, though, as well, is, or the other two things, is that first of all, you are someone that is continually giving to other people without necessarily getting that back in return, and you need to make sure over the next year that you really do balance that a little bit more and care for yourself instead of always considering other people before yourself. And the second thing that I really wanted to focus on for you with oak is that oak people tend to, when it themes a reading, tend to, because they're always giving to other people and thinking about other people and putting other people before themselves, they tend to give and give and give and give and give, and they continue to do that until they snap. So for you, in terms of health, it's really, really important in the next year to put yourself first. I can't stress that enough, BC. Put yourself first. You need to make sure that you look after you and let other people look after themselves. So that's physically, that's making sure that you eat the right things, it's making sure that you exercise, it's making sure that you have enough emotional support, with therapy, with friends, if you can get some friendly support as well, so much the better. Really, really important that you look after you, okay? So let's go a little bit wider here. These three staves here are about the past, and this one is heather, or ur, and this kind of themes the last year. And it's interesting because it's back to front, and heather is about love. Heather is about companionship. Heather is about being together. It's about sharing. It's about caring, but it's upside down in your reading. So, you know, we can kind of see here that whilst you like to give of yourself an awful lot, we can see that with oak, of course, you haven't had an awful lot in return. And for you, that's been really, 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 particularly in the last few months, very, very difficult. Maslow's hierarchy of needs talks about our need for shelter and food and so forth, but he also talks about our need for belonging. And for you, there is just no sense of belonging. You're lost, and that comes up very strongly there. This one sitting over the top here is eldest or ruus rather, or elder, or ruus. And ruus is very much about regret. Sometimes it's about shame. For you, it's largely about regret. It's about lost time. It's about lost opportunity. It's about you constantly looking back and saying, did I do the right thing? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Now I need for you to understand here that it's not all about what did you do wrong, but you are apportioning blame to yourself where that's not necessarily the case. And sitting underneath that is hawthorn or huath. And hawthorn is very much about obstacles and challenges and things getting in the way and things not going the way they should be. So particularly for you in the last couple of months, it's been really, really difficult. Things haven't gone the way they should have gone. Things that should have happened for you didn't, and when they did, they took longer than they should, and the repercussions were not what you wanted them to be. So it's been pretty much hell on earth in the last few months for you. This Ogham stave in the middle is Alder or Fien. And this is in the position that of right now, you know, what's happening in your life right now. And this is very much about advice, and this is pretty key and works quite well with Oak as well. This is about receiving advice. This is about getting as much support as you possibly can. Really, really important for you. That's financial support, that's education support, that's vocational support, that's emotional support, that's practical support. Every form of support that you can get your hands on, it's your turn to utilize that support and run with it. So I really encourage you at the moment, anybody that is offering you support, you take it and you go out and find it. Now, these four staves here are the ones that talk about the next few months for you, and normally it's about the next 12 months, but for you it's a much shorter time frame, and I'm going to drop that down to 3 months or so. The one that themes your next 12 months is Willow or Sail, and this works really well with Oak, and it's important that you listen to it. This is about your instinct, this is about intuition, this is about your own gut wisdom, it's about femininity, it's about magic, it's about being flexible. For you, what this really means is that it's important that you listen to your intuition. Now, I'm just going to have another look at your email again, because you talked to me about North Carolina or Texas, and you feel that you have a strong magnetic pull to North Carolina, like the path that's being led down, but you have no idea. And that you also talked about something else in your email early on as well that really resonates, because Willow is all about listening to that. If it doesn't make any sense, don't give a damn. Listen to your intuition. When you do the right thing for your soul, for your essence, for your core, everything will fall into place to make it happen for you. And I'm going to pick up on that a little bit more as well. This one sitting over the top, I'm just going to talk about these three briefly, and then I'll tie it all together for you. This one sitting on the top is Gorse or On, and this is about, sometimes it's about sexuality, sometimes it's about just living in the now and not worrying too much about the future. And for you, this is very much saying that the next 3 months is going to be a little bit more of an upheaval, and you're going to have to make some massive changes, and that's supported by this one here, which is Ingertol or Broom. Now, Broom very much says that you need to sweep away all of the things, all of the memories, all of the behaviours, all of the thought patterns, even the people that no longer serve you anymore, so that you can sweep them away and allow room for new experiences and new phases of life to come in. You are absolutely right that there are changes forthcoming, and that you are about to set yourself on a new path. And it does mean a change of address as well. It does mean a change of job. It means massive, massive shifts. But You need to let go of the old so that the new can come in, and that's what's been holding you back for the last few weeks, that you're still holding on to the hope that this is going to work and that's going to work and this will be okay. Have faith and let it go. Remember, Willow says just have faith in your intuition, and go with what feels right for you. And then lastly down here, this is a great stave to have. This is Muin or Vine. It kind of underpins your next 3 months. This is about reaping what you sow. This is about harvesting. But double-edged sword here with Muin. Muin talks very much about whatever it is that you've sown, you will reap. Okay, so that means good and bad. So if you do nothing for the next couple of weeks, within 3 months nothing will happen. If you sow some really good seeds for your future here, make some really good decisions and take some really good actions, the outcomes in 3 months will be equally as positive. Okay, so let's kind of pull all these 4 together with the influence of Dewar or Oak here, so that I can just focus on these for you. Next 3 months is going to be quite difficult and a lot of hard work, and I do see you moving house, and I see you travelling by vehicle, by car. Is there a horse float or something that it's a trailer of some description, a cart or a trailer or something that you're trailing behind you? You're not driving, someone else is driving, and lots and lots of possessions in that trailer going to a new home, and it's a red car. I'm not sure whose car that is. So new address for you, but there are lots of messages coming in here all at once. Now I'm trying to give them all to you as they come through, but they're kind of bombarding me a bit. So a change of address for you, and there's another change of a job. I know that you said that you just got this job at Target, but there's another job that's coming for you. Willow is saying very strongly, go with your gut instinct, BC. Go with your gut instinct, they're just saying to me. And they're saying that not only in terms of action on your gut instinct, but also travel to where your gut instinct tells you where you need to go. So if that's North Carolina, then that's where you need to go. And that may be because that's where your ancestral roots are, and for you there's a really strong need for you to feel a sense of belonging, to feel loved and cared for within a community. And even though you may not know anyone there or have anywhere to stay, Willow keeps saying to me quite strongly, if you follow your instincts, things will fall into place. So a change of address for you inside the next 3 months, a change of job for you. Finances are going to be very, very, very difficult for you, so take advantage of any help that you can possibly get. But what's really important here is a sense of positivity. If you can have a plan, it's really important to have a plan. Even though Willow says go with your instincts, that's absolutely dead spot on. But you need to do that with a plan. So if your instincts are to go to North Carolina, then do it. But what is your plan? Write your plan down. You know, so I need to sell this piece of furniture, I need to sell that piece of furniture, I need to give notice on the place where I'm living, I need to give notice at work, I need to go to work and ask them if I can transfer to a store where I am going to be. You know, list all of the things that you need to do in your plan, show that to your therapist, let people help you go through that process. Remember, we had here Older or Fan, which was very much about seeking advice, which was about getting support. That's going to be really, really important. Someone's going to drive you over to where you need to be in that red car. It kind of looks like a bit of a pickup truck, I think you guys call it. And that will be tinged with sadness, but it will also be exciting as well. Very, very important that you take care of yourself through that process, physically, emotionally, psychologically. Very important. Make sure that you have support in the place where you go to. Make sure that you have support to get there, and that will mean financial support, that will mean therapy support, that will mean emotional support, in whatever way it is that suits you. After that 6-month period, after that 3-month period, I see a kind of, so the next 3 months is going to be quite a bit of upheaval, and then for 3 months after that there's a bit of status quo, you know, a kind of bit of peace when nothing much happens. And then in 6 months' time, we're talking about Christmas time now, that's where some really positive stuff starts to happen for you. You are going to change your course of study, and it won't be what you thought it was. It's going to be quite a different field altogether. But you're smiling a lot more at Christmas time. Things are a lot more peaceful, things are a lot more harmonious. And it's really important that you set that into place now. Remember, we talked about harvesting here. So you need to make sure that you have that plan. So it's really, really important, BC, that you write down all of the things that you want, and you methodically go through those. I also wanted to talk to you about your Druid Animal Oracle card, which came up. And I'm really pleased to see this here because this is gorgeous. He's actually one of my favourites. Stag or Dam is he's an ancient druidic animal. He's almost as old as salmon, so he's very, very ancient. He's wise, and he is a fantastic representative of the god Cernunnos, or Hern. And I really, really encourage you to Google Stag or Dam, which is spelled D-A-M-H, and Cernunnos and Hern, and have a look at how nurturing they are. They are also very synonymous with oak. These two are the same. This is the tree version, and this is the animal version of Cernunnos. And both of them are, both oak and stag, are representatives of how you give to everyone and your deep inner wisdom, but that you need to balance. Can you see these two trees here? It's the pathway through to other areas. So stag is very much about this as a time of entry into new phases of life. Stag is also very calm. Stag is very, very wise. He plans. Remember, we talked about planning, and he supports a lot of other people, but he balances that with the wisdom and the understanding that he needs to look after himself as well. That is really important for you, and we talked about that earlier as well. Stag can be very, very protective of his loved ones, as you can, but stag also is very, very protective of himself, and that's important for you in the next 3 months, to be very, very protective of yourself. Okay, you need to be looking after you. And remember, I talked about before, you need to be looking after you. Stag is very mature, he's very calm, he's dignified, and he's rational. He's the planner. So I really encourage you to have a bit of a Google and look at him as well. So in a nutshell then, it's really important that you look after you. Remember, look for the signs when you are stressed. Look for the signs when you are getting really, really stressed, and you're pretty good at that. You recognize those very well, and do something about it. Don't let it get too far, because you have the tendency sometimes to let it go just that little bit too far, and then you snap and break. It's very important in the next 3 months that you look after you so that you don't snap and break. It's very, very important that you eat well. Drop the sugar, BC, no refined sugars. Start thinking much more about more vegetables and fruit if you can. Keep your eye on the protein. A little bit of exercise for you, nice regular steady exercise for you, not a lot, just regular steady exercise every day for you, and lots of support for your emotional and your physical well-being as well. So I hope that goes some way to helping you plan for the next 3 months, knowing that by Christmas time things are going to start to get much more peaceful, harmonious and happy for you.